The views and opinions expressed by the guest do not necessarily reflect those of the presenter, the show, the organization, or the management. Guidance from parents is recommended.
Yo, what up, everybody? Welcome to another whooping episode. I know we've been gone for too long, but we're back now, and I'm back with my guy. He's just gonna introduce himself and introduce the topic as well before we dive right into it.
What's good, everybody? It's your boy Ntando GQ. Yeah, coolest nigga in the city, and yeah, it's nice to be here. So, today's topic is basically centered around creating a high-value black man in 2022. Yeah.
Going forward.
Going forward, yeah, because it's yeah. You know how when we were growing up, we we're always being told that, yeah, we are the future, we are the future. Yeah, this is the future now. This is the future. It's time to move forward and basically get as much game as possible. Yeah.
So, like, high value black men society. What do you think men lack nowadays? Like now that they need to work on as individuals or as a group or as a society in order to achieve that goal, basically.
I think the only hindrance, or the only problem that has been presented so far is a mental one, in the sense that black men nowadays, okay, like historically, black men have never been given a fair chance of surviving. Firstly, they were just chilling, minding their own business, farming, then Europeans pull up, and then throughout history there were things like slavery, apartheid, civil rights movement in America. Basically a hell of a lot of challenges that have made it impossible for black men to basically strive and be prosperous. And another thing is the lack of role models, particularly in places like personally, I also grew up in a kasi. Didn't really like have a lot of role models. Still don't have a lot of role models coming from Ekasi, but I'm trying to be, and I'm trying to get as many brothers to be role models for the next generation of black men, to basically break the cycle of disadvantage and actually make a silver spoon out of plastic. Yeah.
Yeah, and I like what you said, like having role models, and a lot of people, like, they lose their way because they don't actually know where they are going or who they are trying to, like, they don't know themselves, and there's no one who's there to like help them witness or like unleash the true potential they have. And you also mentioned the mentality. You said it started with mentality. Black people were not allowed to strive, and
they were not given a fair chance
to strive. Yes, exactly. And looking at how we've been living at Ekasine, like we like conforming to the basics of like kasi, when everybody's doing this, we do that. And like you said, no role models. Without role models, people cannot necessarily identify themselves because they just do what everybody does.
For sure.
What would you say that people need to do, like, considering the fact that we don't have role models, and like what you said, you want to be a role model and try to get more brothers to be role models to the young ones that are coming up. What are your pointers on that? What should be done?
Okay. I mean, I'll start by saying this. Sorry. Bopelo as a group work, like, you literally came onto this earth by yourself, and you're going to leave by yourself. And basically the point that I'm trying to bring across is, it only takes initiative, my brother. Like, initiative in the sense that if you like come from Kasi, for an example, and get to have a privilege of going to school, even if it's a Kasi school, even if it's a private school or Model C, you'll be exposed to content that will obviously ignite your mind. And I feel like it is very necessary to first establish that, like, gaining access to, or giving yourself access, the platform, or okay, I'm losing the point now. I'm losing the plot. Okay, let's start over. So, pointers now. Pointers. It is very important to take things like reading seriously. One.
Okay.
We all have like a basis of going to school. Sure, not every school maybe might not have like, not every school might have like resources or like good books or everything, but then the basis of it is there, you know, like
Yeah.
you get an idea and your teachers that are there also guide you, nyana, and I feel like that guidance is necessary. But for you to actually like move forward and develop and establish yourself as an individual in society, as a high value individual, high value black man specifically, is taking initiative. Like actions speak louder than words. Like you can go around telling people, "Go guys, hey, this," but if you don't act, they won't take you seriously.
Yeah,
you know,
true.
they won't take you seriously. Like, yeah,
And another thing, I think see, bruh, the thing that mostly happens is talking. People like talking, people like complaining about what they don't have, what they have, and what they can do, what they cannot do. I mean, like, this world, it might have limited resources, but if you use those limited resources effectively, you can get an efficient result. Like I, for example, name
for sure.
yeah, for example, I grew up in a Kasi that was high in crime, high in like all these bad things.
Yeah, look at yourself today, content creator. You know?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the biggest thing is I was raised by people who like Batswara po, people who just had bad morals and everything. But one thing I've learned from them was things that I shouldn't do, because if I do what they did, then my life was gonna turn up as theirs. And that's what they also told me, that this is the life we live in. If you want a different life than ours, all you have to do, don't do what we do. Which is what I think most people should strive towards.
Yeah.
Like, look at your surroundings. Don't let it affect you.
For sure.
You
For
must
sure.
affect it.
Ah.
You get it? You must affect it.
Yeah.
And like try to use the limited resources that you got effectively in order to achieve the most efficient results that you can get, basically.
Yeah.
And I think in one of our conversations long ago, you spoke about support, and you also spoke about mentors and role models. Just in the beginning of the episode. Do you think black men they receive that much support that they need in order to be the high value citizens in the community?
Nah. Kokas, let's remember the type of dynamics that exist. Because this is crazy actually, because just a week ago I was doing an assignment about masculinity, and there were 2 case studies. It was the DuckTales, Lidi Tsotsi, Kokas. So basically, Kokas, all that we privy to, or like the type of role models or people that are considered high value because of like financial status, which yeah, it's not nice. It's genuinely not nice because of the fact that like the morality is skew. It's skew. But I like how you mentioned your background, Khore. They told you, Khore, yo, this is the life that we live, and if you want a different life, go for it. Because literally that is the same case as myself. I come from a family of thugs, Taimala Kanel Twarapo, just to survive. Like, it wasn't because he was corrupt or anything, but it was because of the principle of it. And I feel like that is the reason why things like Kokasi, things like Butsoti, Kokasi are idolized, is because of the fact that there's no other alternative. If anything, the act of it is bad, like crime is bad, but the principle of actually providing and doing it for survival is something that we should actually like give a shout out to. But also we must understand that the morality of it is skewed because of the fact that they were not really given like any other alternative. You know, me and my friends have this saying where we say no retreat, no surrender, get their bag, whatever. So that means like I know it's bad, stooping down to like any level just to secure like material conditions, but then we don't have any other alternative. But we personally, I mean, the reason why we're having this conversation is to change the trajectory, basically, to shed light on things that we can actually do to give us men a good image and to make a high value, to make us like high value and substantial in a way, you know, like it's very possible. It's very possible because we have the case study particularly who are high value men. Like you wouldn't even believe that this person is
Comes from
Kasi. Like
Yeah.
Vusi Tembokwai. Wabona Vusi Tembokwai, he literally comes from Kasiaka, basically. Like when I'm at home, I can literally see his gas is literally like across a highway. But look at him today. He's in Dubai. He's chowing money. He's
So basically, you know, another thing, the irony here is that, like, you mentioned the principle of these guys, even though the actions are bad, but like how they operate,
The
how they
principle,
yeah. And the reason I'm saying like the irony is, if these people can do that for their community, like tag community, let's talk about tag community. Those people mentor each other.
For
those
sure.
people protect each
Loyalty,
other. Exactly.
you know,
those
yeah.
people trust each other. Those people build the character
It's
that
a
serves
community,
them.
basically,
Exactly.
yeah.
That serves them in the best way possible. And like you said, it's for survival. And you know, there are many ways of achieving something.
For sure.
There are many ways of achieving something. And what I want us to like encourage people back at home is that we shouldn't, like I said, don't let your community influence you. You must influence
the
you.
community.
Yes,
Yes,
exactly.
yes.
Let's take those principles, because one person said learn from your enemies as well, because
Yeah.
they're not doing anything wrong.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
get it?
yeah.
And if these people, bruh, because they are enemies, they threaten our life, they threaten our safety and all that, even though it's for their
But it's the phone. You're
you
hustling boyfriends.
you get it?
Yeah.
But if we can get people who can instill the very same principles, you know, the loyalty principles, the striving principle, the no surrender, always going forward and always fighting principles, all those like the taking care of each other, building each other up and everything. If we can do that in a different sphere, like if we can do that in for good reasons,
Yeah, for sure.
not
That's-
just for survival, because we can strive, we can get another survivor with the very same principles. Because I honestly think, like as you said, there are a lot of people who come from your cars who are now successful.
For sure.
And I'm pretty sure those people, they didn't necessarily do so much different stuff that it's happening already in their cars.
For sure. Like I said, when I'm my brother, the whole point of well, what I see, the way I see it, the whole point of this conversation that we're even having right now is to, in a way, affect this change. You know,
Yeah.
like change the trajectory. Like you said, you must learn from your enemies because they're not doing everything wrong. Harishaba in these communities, Tamajita, lady gangs, and all of that, like those characteristics that you mentioned is something that we need, but us will affect it or we will enact it in a different light, you know.
Exactly.
Like, yeah, dog. Like, it's so draining having to, you know, carry such an image, because, you know, like, to inherit an image that is that is bad. Let's move towards inheriting an image that is good, you know, like in the sense that whenever they see a brew maybe from the East End, they say, yeah, that one, vele, enjoy a game, you know, or mchita utsango, I don't know, deep rural areas of Kuruman or whatever. Yeah. Man, you know, unali substance, man. And it only takes a shift in mentality and a shift in the topics that are being held, you know?
Legit.
We genuinely need to start having uncomfortable conversations about a lot of things. We can't be using apartheid the whole time as a scapegoat. Particularly the students of you. Like,
Exactly.
I'm so sorry to
bruh.
call you out, but it's not cute.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
genuinely not
Because
cute.
always, like I said, people at cars, the thing we get the most is talking and complaints.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
you just pointed now, they're like going back. You know, historical knowledge is dangerous, bruh.
Very.
Sometimes historical, bruh. And
Yo.
a lot of people, like, I've never like took anything that has happened in the past and used it now. Like use everything as motivation for you to achieve what people couldn't achieve. Not to say
Yeah.
that everything that happened is still keeping you away from achieving certain things. It's
Move
not.
on.
It's
Move on.
not.
Like